Dia's sister, Suzanne Barakat. Suzanne, first of all, obviously our deepest condolences to you and your family for this senseless and brutal act. I hope that you and your family are at least finding comfort in the interest and support in this case from all over the world.
Thank you for having me, Jake. It has been tremendously heartwarming to see the outpouring of love and support. The way it started, I would say, the day of the murders, an assemblywoman from the state I live in used the hashtag Stand Up Against Islam, and it's currently an open season, a time where it's an open season against Islam, Muslims in Washington, Muslims in the general media, dehumanizing Muslims in movies like American Sniper. It's incredibly inspiring right now to see that Dia, Yusur, and Razan's love for their country is being reciprocated.
The death of your brother, his wife, and her little sister is now getting international attention. As Jean reported earlier, Turkey's president said that President Obama and other leaders of the Obama administration should personally say something. President Obama did say something in a statement. Has the White House or anyone in the Obama administration reached out in any way?
Not yet, but I hear they intend to, and we very much appreciate it.
Do you, you and your family members say that the victims here, your brother and his wife and her sister, complained about Craig Hicks, the alleged killer? Your sister-in-law told her father, I think he hates us for who we are. Are there other reasons beyond that statement that make you convinced, and his statements against religion in general, that makes you believe this was anti-Muslim as opposed to just a senseless and horrific act on its own?
There have been more than one instances in which he has approached Dia, Yusur, Yusur's mom, and, you know, I don't know in hindsight if they should have done things differently, but they were trying to, you know, the advice that Yusur's mom gave was be kind to him, because that's what we're taught in Islam, is be kind to your neighbors, and maybe with kindness he can turn around. But of course none of us ever imagined that this would be the result of those kinds of threats.
What kinds of things did he say to your family?
So occasionally, feel free to reference a previous interview where I elaborated a little more on the parking situation, but suffice it to say that on the day of the murders, the parking spot that was quote-unquote disputed had no parking, no car in it. You know, I wondered, maybe was Razan, who was visiting her sister to keep her company, had maybe parked in that spot and that triggered it. No. They all knew not to park in this disputed visitor's parking spot, and by disputed I mean the one that the neighbor claimed belonged to his wife and had been cleared by the apartment complex agency as open and free to all. And despite that, they did not use it. So this was not a parking dispute. And I would like to highlight, Jake, that had roles been reversed, and no one is talking about this, but had roles been reversed and the man was Muslim, was of Arab descent, was of South Asian descent, this would have immediately been labeled an act of terror. I haven't heard anyone use the term terrorist here, but why the double standard? He has terrorized our families. He has terrorized our lives. He has terrorized our community, locally, nationally, and internationally. And it's time that people call it for what it is.
This man was very hostile towards organized religion. Lots of things on his Facebook page demonstrating his hostility towards religion, not just Islam, but Christianity as well. Did he ever say anything that you know of that was anti-Muslim to your family members?
Considering that 3 of them are now deceased and I can't ask them that question, and I live 3,000 miles away from them, all I know is that they have been, I'm sorry.
Take your time.
There are other people who I think are more appropriate to ask this question to make sure that all the facts are straight, but there are friends There's the former roommate who had been harassed, and I personally had not had this experience with him, so I cannot speak to that, but it did exist. Yeah.
What do you want? What does the family want? There's obviously nothing will bring back these three young people who seem amazing, and this is such a horrific event, but what does justice look like to you and your family?
Justice means making sure that this never happens again, making sure that Muslims are respected, are protected, are cared for, and are not left to live in fear. I was speaking with my husband and wondering, how are we going to raise children in this country if we are afraid for their safety and for their lives because of the ignorance and because of the biased We want to make sure that what comes out of this is awareness, is a spread of love. We are not seeking to... Punishment is not the goal here. It is absolutely not the goal. We want everyone in solidarity globally to make sure that we all unite as humanity, honor their lives and their legacy. We want to further the things that they were passionate about, their dedication to service, their dedication to the homeless populations, to refugees abroad. These are the things we want to focus on. And we want to gather all of this energy and momentum right now and make sure that we are serving that purpose.
Suzanne Barakat, there's nothing I can say. I feel silly even saying our deepest condolences because it just pales to the pain that you and your family are going through right now. But thank you for coming on and talking to us and talking about the kind of world that you want us to now live in. We're going to take a quick break.